Hello, everybody. This is Justin from Breakout Capital Ventures. It is Saturday, the 25th of October, 2025. First of all, just want to say thank you for all the chart requests. There's far too many for me to get through this weekend. So I've selected the best ones, or hopefully the best ones. So for those who haven't covered off, please do ask me again next week, and I will try to cover them off. Right, I'm going to start with WSG, Westminster Group, and I covered this off last week, but I'm going to cover it off again because I think there's quite a good development on that, and I'll discuss that in a minute. For me, I've got that red box reversal zone down here, but I don't think we're going to hit because we've got a really good rising sort of momentum indicators here on a lower low. I think that's a really good sign. Where do I think it's heading? Well, from that longer term blue box reversal zone, we've only had one wave, so I'm expecting another one. For me, I think we're going to get another wave up. I think we're going to get news out of the company, and I've discussed this in other podcasts, but I won't run through that again. So for me, I think, breaking a hold above sort of 2.8 level, I think that should bring us up to 3.54, up to 4.08, depending where we hold in that box. And I think pretty much even the low end of it should activate this red box here to 4.26 all the way to 5.15. So that's like 1.5, 2 bags at least, really, from where we are at the moment. So I think that's a massive amount of reward on offer. So that's looking really good. And the news, well, I've just popped to this LinkedIn post, and it says here, Gambon has achieved a remarkable improvement in its aviation security performance, scoring 78.77% in its latest International Civil Aviation Organization Universal Security Audit Program. The results reflect the country's sustained efforts under ANAC Gambon and its government to strengthen oversight, training and compliance with ICAO's global standards, making it one of the most significant progressions in Central Africa. Fantastic. Well, who's responsible? Well, it's Westminster Group, isn't it? As you can see here from the update on the 4th of March, they signed a 15-year plus multi-million US dollar contract for security services to 4 airports in the Gabonese Republic, which is Gabon. If you go down to here, what did they do? This not only includes provision for advanced detection, surveillance and screening equipment, but also includes the maintenance, training and various support services required to ensure Gabon's airport security is run to the highest international standards. This is brilliant news. I think that's absolutely cracking. I think they've done a wonderful job. Clearly it's working, and I think, hopefully they can roll this out to other areas, but I think there's other aspects of the business we're going to hear on in the short term. So, for me, I think that's one definitely to do some research on. Ignore the bulletin board morons over on the LSE, and I think they're over on ADUFN as well. You've got to do your own research. If you listen to those idiots, then, back here when it was at 1p, and that's when I last said that it was going to rise, it went all the way to 3. Yeah, that was 2 bags back then. If you'd listened to those idiots, then you wouldn't have made 200% profit like we did. Anyway, there you go. So that's WSG. Worth doing some research. GELN is my next one, and this one's just recently done a capital raise. I think it was at 22 or 23 pence, so worth having a look at that. It's battery technology, and UK's leading the way in this battery technology. They've got a massive, huge sort of JV partner. Worth doing research on that one. So it's recently capitalized, and it's risen since the capital raise. It's massively oversubscribed. So that's looking pretty good. I think break this 30 pence level, and for me, we've only had sort of one wave. I'm expecting another. So break that 30 pence level, and I think you're going to activate this red box. Will activate this red box zone here, so we should see at least 39.2 up to 44.8 and possibly 52 pence. So I think there's a lot of talk about 50p, and I don't see why that can't be achieved there, to be honest. So it's worth doing some research on that one. It's pretty tightly held, so it's not massive volumes involved in that. So, and it's still rising. So with the 10 million capital raise, pretty much it's held spot on. So, worth doing research on that one. Bank is my next one. And Finu PLC. I haven't covered this one off for a while, but we called this one spot on in the past at 6.4 pence. We said it was going to 20.6, which is spot on. That was 4 bags. Well, nearly 4 bags, 3.5. That's pretty good. I've got a blue box reversal zone down here at 9.45 down to 7.1. Hopefully it doesn't get there, but, it might do. But, I still think that's a really good area to be loading up. It did a capital raise at 20 pence. Nothing's changed in the business. It's just been sold off, for some unknown reason. People are just selling it off, boredom, whatever it is. Where do I think that's going to go from here? Well, I think once the company drops some good news, breaking hold above about 19.5, I think you're going to activate this red box here at 30.2 to 35.8. So that's another 200% possibility gain. So one to do your research on, have a look into that one. COD is my next one, and these are all now chart requests. So this one here, I've got a blue box reversal zone down there at 0.274 down to 0.244. And where do I think that's headed? Well, I think these are breaking a hold, this sort of massive resistance level here at 0.38, but breaking a hold above that should bring us into this 0.46 to 0.514 level. So that is COD. That's it's not a bad return, is it? Sort of 55%, potentially a bit higher than that. So yeah, worth doing research on that one. KDNC is my next one, another chart request, which I covered off last week. For me, I did a breakout, ultimate breakout podcast with Dan Green discussing the fundamentals on that one a short while ago. You can see that on our YouTube channel. But I've got a blue box reversal zone. As you can see, it sort of keeps on dipping in and then pulling back out. So that's a really good sign. And for me, it's in this long-term reversal zone down here, which is sort of entered in October 23. So we should get at least another wave to the upside on that one. And where do I think it's headed? Well, I think that's going to at least once it's broken, hold above about 5.6 pence. So hold above that should activate 8.14 to 9.52. But I actually think it's going to be headed towards 10.15 to 12.55. I'm just saying that you might see a bit of turbulence in that lower red box there. So KDNC, I think that's pretty game on for another wave to the upside. And obviously it's just recently capitalized, so that's really good. There's no need to worry about fundraise on that one. So KDNC, worth doing some research. SML is my next one, and the strategic metals, the minerals, sorry. So that's at 1p. Where do I think it's headed? Well, yeah, I don't have a blue box reversal zone. That's actually a blue box sort of target, which is sort of acting as support. But breaking a hold above 1.1, I think, could be heading to this red box zone here at 1.45 up to 1.64. So that's SML, about 43% return, isn't it? So, not too bad. GRX is my next one. Green metals. And, for me, I got that thing there. Let's get rid of that. Oops. And get that to the right screen. There we go. So what we got there? I've got it. It's in the blue box reversal zone. We gave that red box zone. It didn't hit. But my target was at 43.4 to 45.8 and possibly 49 pence. It sort of hit that box, met with sellers. I just want to see what happens. It could continue higher, but I would like to see a bit of corrective move here, and then we can start to look for another move to the upside and sort of break this prior high up here at 46 pence. So I think that's really what that's gearing up to do. So we shall keep an eye on that one. REE is my next one, and just get that one off. Altona Rare Earths. Where do I see that headed? Well, for me, I've still got that red box zone there, which I think, that's really active, isn't it? I should have changed that to blue, but I think that's where it's going to be headed. So, it's sort of, I've got some big wick offs there, but, I'd like to see that head towards the sort of 3p level from where it is at the moment. So I think that's where that's headed, sort of 25% return on your money. OMI is my next one, and this one here. Where do I think that's headed? Well, then I covered that stuff last week, didn't I? But for me, I think 30.8 to 32.9 is probably that's going to head. Might see a bit of turbulence there before heading up to hopefully 39.2 to 44.9. And then hopefully you can go to this bigger red box zone here, which is really sort of the weekly target, isn't it, on that? If I just draw that out, you've had one wave, a big corrective, and then we've got this, hopefully then the other wave appears. So I think that's probably really where it's headed, 46.3 up to 58.4 to 73.6 on the sort of weekly chart. So that's where I think OMI is headed. Next one I'm going to do is Boom. And Audioboom. Let's have a look. So, I've still got that blue box there, 820 to 970 pence. I still think it's heading there. It's just not going in the straight line. Nothing goes in the straight line. So you're talking around a 40% return on your money from where we are at the moment. UKOG is my next one, and they're probably a more exciting one if you want bigger rewards, but higher the risk. But for me, I think that this one here, it needs to, it's been capitalized, hasn't it, just recently at around this level. I think 2.025 was the capital raise. They did that in this big candle here, just incredible, isn't it? But first day back of trading, but break and hold above sort of 0.05, and that's going to activate this red box here at 0.0742 up to 0.0864 and even 0.10. I've got a bigger box there, but it's definitely going to get turbulence at 0.1. So, but that's still 3, 4, 5 bags. Sorry, 3, 4 bangs, isn't it? So, definitely worth doing some research on UKOG. I mean, hopefully they can drop some news and that should boom up. There we go. So WSBN is my next one. And this one here, it's fallen outside of my blue box reversal zone there at 1.22. I think that's where they just did a capital raise. It's at 1.13. I'm still expecting another leg to the upside on that one. I don't see how news is going to drive that higher. If they can break above 1.87, that should bring us up to this red box here. Red box zone at 3.04 to 3.58. Goodness me, and the gold price that keeps rising, which gold price for me is definitely got a long way to go yet. Might see a bit of a corrective play short term, but for me, it's definitely going to be heading higher. I think all these gold plays have got plenty more left in the tank over the coming weeks, months, and probably years. So it's WSBN, ALRT, Defence Holdings, and it's not going to be great news for shareholders on this one. I did say in the last podcast it needed to hold above 2.2. I had a feeling that it was going to be heading down, to be honest. But, so where do I think that's heading? Well, I've got a blue box reversal zone there at 1.21, down to 0.48, which, it might not get there. Who knows? It's a difficult one to say. It's looking pretty good around the 2 pence level. So you might hold support there. That blue box might not come into play. I think that, on a positive sign, what do I think? Well, it's actually only one wave. We've only on the daily chart, that's one wave. There's your 2. I can see that going higher again. So, we could probably talk in the 6, 7, 8 pence, something like that, even probably higher than that. So, but obviously this corrective move just needs to play out first before we're going to see a move to the upside. And I think, it's probably contract something like that. And I probably hope that you see something around those in probably the new year. So one to pop on your watch list. BUGE is my next one. And probably is my last one for this podcast. What do I see here? Well, I think, break that 0.026. And I think that's going to head to this red box here at 0.0325 up to 0.0365, which is probably about a 50% or higher return on your money. There you go. That's me for today. Back again soon.